Hey guys, my name's Kelly. I'm with fitnessblender.com. We share a new free workout video every Monday morning. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those. Today we're going through a lower body intensive Pilates routine. You don't need any equipment for this except for an optional exercise mat. I haven't included your warm-up or your cool-down, so if you're sitting on cold muscles, make sure you do at least a quick warm-up before you jump into this. Otherwise, we're going to start right in. We're going to be doing intervals of 50 seconds on with 10 seconds rest, and we're starting off with an outside leg raise. So you're going to get comfortable on your side here, one leg kicked all the way out, propped up on your arm here, and we're going to come up. We're going to do a pulse at the top this time and then lower down. So we're going to do little extra things all through this workout that are just going to slightly switch up the traditional Pilates exercises. So look for those. This time it's just that slow, controlled pulse at the top of the range of motion. And you're going to feel your muscles talking to you throughout this. So just focus on moving intentionally. You want to not be swinging your legs around. You want to move deliberately and with all of your muscles nice and tight. So even though we're focusing on the legs here, even with this particular exercise, you can target your abs by keeping them nice and tight even while you are, like I said, focusing otherwise on the lower body. So just keep it going. We have about 5 seconds left. And then since we're already on this side, we're going to switch and do the same thing with that inside leg. So this time you're going to plant that other foot there so that the bottom leg has a little more room to move. Point that toe. And we're doing a similar motion here. It's a lot smaller, but we're going to do that same pulse at the top before we lower it back down. So like I said, it's a small range of motion, but you can make it count by moving, again, deliberately, slowly, with control over your body. No flailing here. It's one of those things, a lot of people ask how come we move so slow during Pilates, but the answer is you can usually feel it yourself. It's actually easier if you move quicker. So that slow motion makes your muscle work harder. So just get comfortable with the discomfort, turn on some music if you like, and get it done. You have just 15 seconds left. I'm going to switch and do this on the opposite side of the body. Three seconds. Alright, so I'm going to switch sides. So same thing, we're going to target that outer thigh first. So point that toe, and again we're doing that that slight controlled pulse, if I can talk, at the top of the range of motion. Back down. So you should be feeling this in the outside thigh as well as in the glute just a little bit. Make sure you're breathing. It's about 10 seconds left. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, same thing here. Plant that foot. We'll be targeting the inside thigh this time, so point your toe and get ready. I'm going to push on the floor for a little support here if you need to. Slight pulse before you lower back down. So in all these exercises, you'll notice I'm not actually resting my leg on the ground. I'm just barely hovering over it so that that leg is working the entire time. If you need to at any point, you can stop and shake your muscles out. That's totally fine. Just jump back in as soon as you can. Otherwise, though, even though we're doing reps, the repetition never really ends because we're not resting that leg. Halfway done already with this interval. You can always wear ankle weights during this workout if you are a glutton for punishment. Make it burn even more. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Alright, so next up we're going to do a kneeling leg raise. So this is going to really target the glutes really well. So you're going to have your forearms, your weight in your forearms and your knees. We're going to be pumping up towards the ceiling. I'm going to do that same slow pulse at the top. So tuck your leg back in. When you're at the top, just hover it up there and just kind of at the part where it burns the most, just get a little extra work in up there. So pull in your core nice and tight. Make sure you're not letting your shoulders creep up towards your ears. Keep them pressed down and away from your neck. and make sure that you are not opening your hip up. You shouldn't be turning. Keep your hips facing the ground as you do this exercise. Got about 15 seconds left. Alright, now we're going to do that same thing on the opposite side of the body. Stretch out those muscles really quick if you need to. Shake out your shoulders. Here we go. Pulse twice at the top. And again, don't let the leg come all the way in. Kind of just before you relax it. Don't let it touch the ground. I love doing routines like this one after a strength workout, after lifting for the lower body. It's an awesome way to really finish off those muscles. Make them nice and toasty. All right, just about 10 seconds left. All right, next up we're going to stay in the same position. We're going to do a hamstring extension. So it's going to be targeting the backs of the thighs. So we're going to keep our leg up here and just extend out and back in. So you're keeping the leg up there the entire time, and you want to focus on really contracting your muscles. Act as if you're working against yourself. So when you're pulling that leg in, act like someone's pushing against it. When you push it out, act like someone's pulling it back. So you're constantly working against your own strength. You should feel this in the back of your thigh and definitely your glutes, maybe even in the leg that you're using as a supporting leg right now. Make sure you're not holding your breath. And these are nice long intervals, so like I said, if you need to take a break, go ahead and do that. Just jump right back in as soon as you can. 5 seconds left. Ooh, that burns. Okay, that means it's working. That's good. All right, 5 seconds left, and we'll switch to the other side. Okay, get that leg up there. Same thing right here. Out nice and long, and pull it back in. So it's easy to do this just willy-nilly if you like, but you got to make it count. So it's up to you to contract those muscles and make every repetition count. If you move like you mean it, you will absolutely feel the difference. And honestly, that's a lot of the times the difference between exercising and just exercising and actually seeing results from the effort that you put in. So you get out what you put into it. So work, just focus. This is a short routine, so give me everything you've got here. So about 10 seconds left. Whew, okay, so we have one more exercise before we'll take a quick break. And this time we're doing a sort of similar motion with a slight variation. We're going to be going up and over with that leg. So you're bringing it over across the other side of the body, come up and over, and tap on the outside. So again, this one's even harder and even more important to make sure that your hips are staying facing the ground, so you're not opening up. So you're definitely, it's a good way to make sure that glute is the one doing all the work. And don't be surprised, just like before, if you do feel that supporting leg also doing work. "15 seconds left. Make sure you're not resting on either side, just hovering over the ground. All right, so 50 more seconds of work and we'll take a very quick break before we get back into the torture. All right, so that leg out there, here we go, up and over. Smooth and controlled and intentional. Mind those shoulders, make sure they're not hunching up. Press down into the floor. Under 20 seconds, keep going. Three, two, and one. All right, so go grab a very quick drink of water and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we are already halfway through this routine, so let's jump right back in and not waste any time. We're going to be doing single leg drops. So you're going to be pressing your back flat on the mat, one knee bent and pressed into the floor with that foot. Point your toe and you're coming up as tall as you can and then lower back down. So this pulse here is just really gentle. It's a question and not a demand. Make sure you're not forcing anything, just really smooth, and then lower it back down. Make sure you're breathing as you go through this. If you want to step up the difficulty of this in particular, we'll be doing this later in the routine, but you can also hold a bridge while you do this if you like. So pick your difficulty level, especially if you have ankle weights on, you're going to feel this. Otherwise, it ends up being sort of a really light toning, stretching exercise here. If you keep your leg nice and tight, you will definitely feel it in your muscles as well. All right, so we're going to do that same thing on the opposite side of the body. Stretch out that leg really quickly. And get ready to do the same thing on the opposite side. So here we go. Point your toe, pulse up, and then back down. So remember that bridge option if you want to make it harder. Just keep it going. Under 20 seconds left. Alright, so now that we've got this range of motion nice and warm, we're going to be doing flutter kicks. We're going to kick both of those feet up at the same time. They're going to be passing each other at opposite times here. We're going to be working our core and our lower body. So you can do this as slow as you need to. You can also bend your knees if you need to, if you're feeling a little tight, or if your abs aren't quite strong enough yet. Otherwise, try to keep your back pressed flat on the mat and get those feet going as quickly as you can with clean form. And make sure you're not holding your breath. Try to keep that belly button pulled down into the mat. "15 seconds left. Alright, so next up we're going to be doing a bridge. So we're going to be planting both feet on the floor and be pressing up, getting our bum and our back off the mat. So press up, squeeze at the top, and then lower back down. So just like in those earlier exercises, we're not actually resting on the ground, you just hover, so those muscles are working the whole time. Put your arms in the air, make it a little harder. So I'm going to target the glutes really well here with kind of a series of bridges. Alright, rest really quickly. Stretch out those legs as best as you can in 10 seconds. All right, we're pressing up into a bridge and alternating which ones you kick. So just alternating back and forth. What you're going to find is that your body is going to try to cheat. So if you're feeling fatigued at all at this point, your hips are going to start to sink really quietly on you. So force them. Just check yourself every few seconds and try to keep your body from cheating. Try to keep your hips up for as long as you can. And when you extend that leg, do it with strength. Do it with deliberate movement. So you're really flexing your leg while it's out there. Keep those hips up. No cheating. I'm talking to myself and you. Keep it going. About 5 seconds left. All right, relax for just a second. Hug your knees up to stretch out. All right, one more bridge variation here. So you're coming up into a bridge, and then you're gonna just stay in place. But you're lifting one leg off the floor at a time in a bridge march. So again, try to make sure those hips aren't sagging. Try to keep them pressed up. Be mindful. So you're alternating, so one leg is taking all of the weight of your body at a time. For just a second, it definitely changes up the challenge a little bit. Keep it going. About 15 seconds left. Make sure you're breathing. All right, so let it relax. So we have just a few more intervals left here. We're gonna be doing a side hip raise. So let's bring back that small pulsing motion at the top of this side plank. So just ever so slightly, pulse twice at the top of the range of motion. You can also do a full plank if you like. It's quite a lot harder, but be my guest. And you can always do a combination of each. Do which one, do the hardest version you can for as long as you can. Try to make sure that you're keeping your elbow right underneath your shoulder so you're not all splayed out. So you should feel this in your core, your obliques, and your thighs. All right, there's one down. We'll do the other side. So set up here. And don't forget that pulsing motion. So up the top and down. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Make sure to contract your core, keep it nice and tight. Just a couple minutes left. Hang in there. 15 seconds of this interval. Just 5 seconds. All right, so next up, we're going to do a back bow. So this is really good for your lower back as well as the glutes and the back of the thighs here. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. Just come up. If you want to keep your hands next to your face, that's the easiest way to do it, but you're lifting your upper body and your lower body as far as you can off the mat without any pain. Just slow and controlled. Again, you're not forcing anything. If you want to make it harder, you could just bring your arms out further. So the further you go out with your arms, the heavier you are making yourself to lift. And if you're brand new to this, you can even sit here and do this with your arms in the ground. So choose your level of difficulty. And just like in those other exercises, we're not really ever taking a rest here, we're just hovering. All right, so just one more exercise. So So last we're doing swimmers, so this is a similar motion to what we just did. We'll be lifting. You're gonna feel this in your glutes and your back. Here we go. So opposite hand and opposite foot. You can start off nice and slow if you like, and then once you get the hang of it, just pick it up. So pick up the pace as you can. Otherwise, try to not rest on the ground in between repetitions. Squeeze that glute when you raise your leg. Keep everything nice and tight, but make sure you're not holding your breath. All right, so you're finished already. If you are not going on to another routine, make sure that you cool down and stretch after this. You want to make sure you never skip those stretches. Otherwise, thank you for working out with me. This workout is complete.